called Mr. Daddy Soft. Always her fascination with me shaving. This, her morning ritual. Observing each action as if it were holy. I hide my face in foam. Santa Claus, she chants, winces with fright delight as the razor goes over my bump without slicing it off. The shaving uncovers the me she knows. Soft, Mr. Daddy soft, she gurgles in a lather of laughter. Me now, she pleads, me now. I take the brush, coat her reflection with foam. I shave her with the tip of my little finger. Her reflection sniggers, and she sniggers too. Later in the early evening, she appears, bearded, in fresh cream. Shaves herself with a lollipop stick. Me, Daddy now, see? I cha-cha-cha on the tips of my toes as she clings to my fingertips. The room dances around us. One delighted, half-shaved little girl. One delighted, soft, Mr. Daddy. And this is called, the poem itself, The Smell of Purple. She came into me one day and she basically said this, and I wanted to know what the smell of purple was like, and she was exasperated, like, oh, don't you know nothing? So she was explaining what colours smell like. So it's the smell of purple. She says she can smell yellow. She says she can smell blue, despite not being able to spell either colour. Yellow is the same as blue, like a wet kitty drying by the fire. Red smells like Mummy when she kisses. Her kisses smell different when she kisses you. Then she smells like flames with little orange tips. Purple is my favourite smell. It smells just like a magic spell. I kiss her goodnight like lilac, only lighter, with little flecks of purple scattered here and there. Thank you. And this is called I Feel Pretty. Oh, so pretty. We were at a cocktail party, darling, and we had just come back, and Tilly would come into us at 4 o'clock in the morning, and despite being very hungover, Tilly was still going to arrive and go, woo, on top of all our poor naked flesh. So this is called I Feel Pretty, oh, so pretty. I wake, covered in glorious glitter, smelling strongly of PVA glue, sticking to my cheek, very hung over, and covered in blue, orange, yellow, red feathers. A bubble recently blown perched upon my nose. I still have comatose. Tiny bubbles travel amongst my curls, as through a bigger bubble brightly, nestling neatly over my right eye. I observe my tiny daughter purse her lips and kiss more bubbles into being. Till me, I force my lips, still frozen in sleep, to somehow speak. What you do? See, even my syntax and sentence structuring is shot. She smiles sweetly, I'm pitying you. Good little girl. So this is called Gerry Sweeney's Mammy. And I was coming up to my 60th year, and I thought I'd read or write a whole book about all the different Donalls I've been. Donall 7, Donall 23, Donall 60, God help me. And I had all that deaths in the family, and it turned out to be a book of loss and grief. So it changed tack. This is called Gerry Sweeney's Mammy. When I was small, we were a family of 10, and we all knew our birth stories. I was 2 pounds, the weight of a bag of sugar. Grania had her the cord tied around her neck. Blauheen was even smaller than I was, but she had an incubator. With me, they didn't have incubators, so they used to wrap me up in cotton wool, and I'd kick the way out of it. And I still get shivers if I go into a chemist and see cotton wool balls. So can't stand it. Anyway, I thought that a chap could have 3 mammies, because my definition of a mammy was an emotional definition. And I thought anybody that loved you that much must be a mammy. So I had my own lovely mother, Ita. I had Mrs. Sweeney up the road, and I had Auntie Mary down in Cork. And I thought they were all my mammies. And by that definition, my dad was the best mammy I ever had. So she had to take me aside and said, you know Mrs. Sweeney? And I said, yeah. You know she's not your mammy, don't you? And I said, what? You're kidding me. So this is Gerry Sweeney's mammy. Mrs. Sweeney was Gerry Sweeney's mammy. And even though I had my own, I had her on loan. It was like having a spare mammy. And even when she was mad at us, she just couldn't be mad at us. Go on, she'd grin, go on. You'd wear the heart out of a stone. And if you fell and you were crying, heart and knee badly grazed, or badly bitten by a bee, she would hug you up with all of herself. Come here to me, you poor little dolt. Wrap you up in so much love that would last for years. For years. Gerry Sweeney was my best friend ever. Way back in the way back then. Still is. Nothing's changed. Except us young fellas have become old fellas who still think they're young fellas. And every time I see him, I could almost cry. I can still see his mammy smiling out of his eyes. So I had the book, the poem that was originally going to start the book is now at the end of the book. And it's called Now He Is 60. And there was the reading hour and the child was reading A. Milner's Now He Is 6. So, and it was very strange. I came into class and everybody was talking in a pirate accent. Oh, well, and all that. I thought, we're miles from National Pirate Day or National Eye Patch Day. And I thought, what is everybody doing? And so I came into year 8 and I was doing Pythagoras' theorem. And somebody said, oh, well, sir, be that the theorem about triangles? And I said, what the hell is that? And I said, yes, as you can see, the sails on the good ship Pythagoras are equal to some of the sails on the other two sides. And I thought, he's got our measure. So, a year 8 child, year 7 before that. Year 7, I went in and I was a 2-hour class and they don't leave you any work. And I said to the kids, what were you doing last week? And they said, we don't know. And I said, and then one little nerd at the back of the class put up his hand and said, please, sir, we was doing the spinach armada. And I said, the spinach armada? And he said, yes, something like that. And I said, what were you doing the week before that? And he's total quiet again. The little nerd at the back of the class said, please, sir, Anne of Cleavage. And I thought, I'm not even going to go there, I'm sorry. So, now he is 60. A year 8 child inquires, how old I be? I be just 60. He gasped, my God, you're very active for 60. 60 for him is a distant planet in a galaxy far, far from here. Yea, another dimension. I smile my 60-year-old smile, perfected by now. I am starlight that will only reach him when he himself is 60, if he ever remembers what he has long ago forgotten. And I was a rather bookish child, which was strange because I'm highly dyslexic. But I was determined to read myself into reading. And I tried and tried. I read Wuthering Heights, and then Yorkshire dialect didn't faze me in the least because it was more like my dyslexic thing. And so you can have a bad experience and it can turn out all right. So we've been taught by Scruffy Loftus. He's called Scruffy because he used to be very scruffy hair. And he had put everything in his back pocket, keys, wallet. And we used to always bet whether it would drag his trousers down. And it's funny that it was called Scruffy. And it was, double maths, followed by a double English. It was a rainy, cold Friday. And he was fed up, and we were fed up. And he came out with this. This is called So Pricket Him the Tour in Her Courageous. When ar April, with a sure sota, the drocht of March had passed to the rota, and bathed every vine in switch liqueur, of which for two enchanted is the floor. When Zephyrus Equidus wake a breath, in spirit had in every halt and hurt, the tender croppers and the younger son had in the ram his halva cursi runner, and smaller fowlers mapping melodia, that slept in all the night with open ear. So pricked him the tour in her courageous, than longing folk to go on pilgrimages. Never did help my dad enough. Always head stuck in the book. Dónall, son, he called. Can you hold this while I saw? Oh, da, I'd wail, me lost in Chaucer in his tale. And so the saw saws. But all I hear is, yo, the miller was a chap with 16 stone, a great stout fellow, big and broad and bone. The saw cuts through the afternoon, pauses, then Chaucer's on again. He did well out of it, for he could go and win the ram at any wrestling show. Say what? Oh, don't get me wrong. I adored the aesthetic beauty of sawdust floating in a universe of its own, suspended in sunlight and shadow. The smell of pine kidnapping my mind, the green dance of a bubble in the spirit level. Didn't have time for all that hammering and sawing. I was a boy on a mission ever since our teacher signed, I don't know why I teach you scruff, Chaucer. You'll never read the book. But by the weekend, furious at the rebuff, I ha. My poor old dad only getting the grudging help. When that April, the words falling like gentle rain upon my mind, with as sure as sota the drought of March, words, oh sweet words, had passed to the rota my mind, bawed at every vine and switch liqueur. The bubbles in the spirit level poise perfectly poised, of which for two, unjoggered is the floor. Thank you. Before I had a book, I did these, so I'll read from these instead. This is the last poem in the book. It's called Ball Goes AWOL. And it's one of those times where you're in perfect unison with the universe. And there was no separation between me as the child, the dog, the ball, the sky, the trees, the wall I was playing handball against. We were all one. And you couldn't separate us out. And that's how unified that moment is. I often wondered why this moment comes back. And it's because of that unification where I'm completely at one with the world and I'm living in the moment. So ball goes AWOL. The ball is laughing. It is having a great time being thrown against the wall. Whee! Screams its trajectory. Parabola, parabola, parabola! Hollers the ball. I throw it towards the wall, and the wall throws it back at me. Ball and wall and I having a fine old time. Again, shout both ball and wall. Again! It is a fine thing for a summer day to contain. Human, ball and wall, all enjoying the moment intensely. Memory will warp this reality and morph it into the movie, continually replaying, as if happiness exists in this little snippet of time and space. Sam the collie leaps through the air and with perfect timing catches the ball in his mouth. Ah! Ah! Screams the ball. Damn! Damn! Shouts the wall. Hey! I holler. Hey! But Sam is gone, smiling all over himself. Where he drops the ball, I never get to know. The ball has gone AWOL. This is called the map of who we are. And it's very funny, the memories that come back. I just can hear a voice talking to me and that'll spark off the poem. You think I remember this for about 40 years? No, I don't. And then one day, her voice is there and she's talking to me on my head. So this is a father and daughter conversation. It's called the map of who we are. All day long, her head stuck in an atlas. I want to be Argentina when I grow up. After dinner, she changes her mind. Is it okay to be France? At bedtime, she is tired of being land. I'm going to be the whole Pacific Ocean. Against the vastness of this, my child, I feel like a tiny, tiny island. I fall asleep by this little girl, her dreams of the map. This is still Tilly. I must have put them all together. I used to sing to her when she was born. Janice will attest that I sing all around the house, not just in the shower, but in the kitchen, making the breakfast, blah, 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 I'm singing. And she'll also attest that I'm singing badly, so it wouldn't be so... Oh, well. So I used to sing, I don't know if you know an old jazz standard from 1939 called Comes Love. Yeah? So I used to sing that to her when she's a little baby in the cradle, just born. And when she could get to be a toddler and she could sing along with me. So she was very familiar with this song, and so me too. It's called Comes a Mousey. Comes a headache, you can lose it in a day. Comes a toothache, see the doctor right away. Comes love, Sure, nothing can be done. She wiggles her fingers, she wriggles her toes, tries to mouth the words. She gurgles in her cot, waves her head about, hits her mobile toys. I sing her old jazz standards from the first day of her life, from tiny tot to the toddler of now. She can join in and sing with relish and delight and demand of Daddy, "Sing me mousy, sing me mousy." Comes the measles, you can quarantine a room. Comes a mousy, and you can chase it with a broom. Comes love, nothing can be done. Comes love. I'm telling you, Shane, nothing can be done. Thank you. Oh, right. I shall cut out a whole lot of them there. There you go, a whole lot of them cut out. This is called The Fox, the Whale and the Wardrobe, which is the title book of the poem, of course. My sister died when I was 9. She was only 18. She was a young woman going back up to Dublin, and a drunk driver crashed into the back of a stationary bus, and she was the only person killed in it. So suddenly we're in the newspapers, we're on the telly, and my world completely ended. And I didn't want to be in the world without her. And I used to try to leave the world or hide from the world or not be part of the world. And my grief made me invisible. I would sit in the bay window and my aunt would come in and be 6 inches from me and go, "Dónall, Dónall, where is that boy?" And I was thinking, is she taking the piss or what? No. Or I'd sit out with the milk churns. There'd be a milk churn, me and another milk churn, and my uncle would come out and go, "Dónall, Dónall, where's that boy?" And nobody could see me. Or I'd go to the top of the highest tree. Big Gerard Manley Hopkins fan, and Gerard Manley Hopkins' nickname as a schoolboy was Skin. And he used to terrify his parents and other boys by climbing to the top of the highest tree. And I did that too, and all the land is there in front of you, piecemeal. So, the fox, the whale, and the wardrobe. I hide from the world, I hide from your death. Hide in my auntie's wardrobe. Gather the darkness about me. Dissolve into the nothingness I have become. No one knows where I am. No one knows who I am. Not even me. My auntie's fox stoles, beady eyes, alive at death. Oh, little boy, you join us in this dark. My auntie's whalebone corset, smelling evilly of pink plastic, its white bone escaping, poking me in the ribs. Welcome me to the land of the dead. Whale and fox show me their dreams, the seas and forests of their lives lived in the long ago. My sister's death haunts me, all through the ages I have become. Here now in Porto, high above the Douro, I finally write out the sorrow of my life. I am still hiding in a wardrobe in deepest, darkest Cork, or up above the tallest tree I can find, the land like a map spread out before me. The fox and the whale join me in my darkness, more frightening than theirs. The seconds fading into nothingness. The moments rusted into place. Now somewhere in a future I could never have imagined, I return to the ruined cottage, trees piercing the roof's heart, invading the room of where I'd been. The old wardrobe still holding the clothes of the dead. Auntie's Sunday best, Uncle's smartest suit, rotten now, eaten by time. Oh, little boy, you've come back, the foxstole whispers in my ear. One eye missing, the corset nothing but a bone. And I cry for the death of summer, I cry for the death of them all. The fox and the whale join them in the darkness they could not have ever envisaged. The little boy could never have imagined the man I have become. I come to comfort the 9-year-old I was. This 67-year-old self trying to make amends for all the pain he had to endure. Crying to a heaven not willing to hear him. His tears, my tears. I gather the darkness about us. Thank you.